Day 3. Entering first acidotic crisis. The body switches to fat for water and nutrition. Blood pressure varies depending on the characteristics of the body. Weight loss continues to 1 gram. So far, day 3, I'm about 66 hours in, no water, no food. And I have to admit, this acidotic crisis is easier than day 1. But there's a disclaimer. My diet was very fine-tuned, not only for the past 6 months leading up to this, but for the days prior. I reduced my diet for a day to just liquids and bone marrow soup with vegetables. I boiled down the vegetables, a wide array of vegetables, and then I strained them. But I had, 2 femur bones with marrow, and I made bone broth soup. So in my diet regularly, other than the sugar that I get from vegetables and corn and beans, other than the sugar that's in the milk, and other than the only sugar I have in my diet is like the 2 to 4 grams of sugar that's in the ketchup. And this summer I plan to make my own ketchup, but as with everything in self-sufficiency, one step at a time. So this keto acidotic crisis, where the body switches from glucogen to fat, it's been easy for me because I think it has a lot to do with insulin resistance and blood sugar levels to begin with. Okay, so here, Dr. Shenikov and Dr. Filanov both incorporate the earlier work of Sergei Ivanov in body tempering to strengthen the body. They both suggest pouring cold water on the body to lower the cold threshold on the 3rd day for hardening and strengthening the body. And, like Ivanov, advised to perform these water procedures in the open air despite the weather conditions. So, adherence to the regime and being out in the open air and taking cool showers will bring you double the results for health. Okay, so earlier today I sat in my car and I read those 3 pages. I have more plans. I parked my car in a spot in the woods that I know of. It's about a quarter mile away from the lake. I walked down to the lake and I got in the lake. I recorded it all, and I set the video camera stand up on the rock. When I went in the water, I guess the phone froze. That's how cold it was. It was 12 degrees outside, but it was a nice day. The sun was shining. The wind was like 1 mile an hour, so there was no wind chill. And this is the first time I've ever done an ice plunge. And when I look on people on Instagram, they'll have a tub outside in the middle of winter time, and there will be ice in the tub. Not like ice cubes that they got from the gas station or something like that. Like literally, they filled the tub up the night before, and when they came out the next day, there was a foot of ice in the tub, and they had to break it with a sledgehammer. So I didn't think anything of what I was doing. But don't do what I did. There was only maybe a half to a quarter inch of ice. A half to a quarter inch of ice on the ground, on the water, that I had to break through with a branch that had fallen. And it felt good. The body, the submersion of the body, it felt amazing. There is the cold submersion or immersion, cold immersion. It is all it is cracked up to be. However, I am currently experiencing, if there's 4 stages to frostbite being this one, early frostbite being this one, frost nip being this one, I'm in early frost nip. My fingers are still cold and they're tingly, they're numb. I cannot feel them, so I damaged some nerves, and maybe some of the blood vessels in the tips of my finger froze. When I tell you that I stayed in the water, so I waded in the water. My toes were in the water, and my toes have a little bit of nerve damage. My feet are also a little bit more hardened because I run barefoot during the winter time. But yeah, I run barefoot on the pavement during the winter time. But you know, don't do what I did. My feet were in the water for maybe 1 to 2 minutes before I got my body in the water, and my body and my hands were in the my shoulders were in the water for maybe 10 seconds, but my hands and my fingers were in the water. And when I got back to the car, it's about a quarter-mile walk, I almost could not pick the key out of my pocket and turn the key to turn the car on, and I sat. It was painful. So don't do what I did. But you know, in the spirit of cold immersion therapy, it really works. Like when I tell you the revitalization that I haven't had food or water in 66 hours, and I felt better getting out of that water, aside from wondering whether or not I caught frostburn. It was quite concerning, I'm not gonna lie. Aside from wondering whether or not I had frostburn, I felt better then than I felt while I was, you know, nourished with a full regime of food and water. It's amazing. So, so what I did was I went as soon as I could feel my fingers, I went on Amazon and I bought some wetsuit gloves and some wetsuit boots. But it's not going to arrive until December 31st, January 1st, and by then I will have I more than likely would have ended my fast. I only plan on doing about 7 days, though 11 days is recommended. This is my first dry fast. It's easier than water fasts. So here's the check-in. I don't know, it's about 6 p.m. I'm about 66 hours in. .6 body fat, that's down. 61.6% body water. I think it just measures the moisture from the feet, so it's not that accurate, but it's constant. 23.4 BMI and 8.1 bone. Everything's constant. I'm down. I think my first weigh-in was 190 pounds. So I'm down 7 pounds in 3 days. And that's, 3 kilograms, 3 to 4 kilograms. That's on par. And so what I am doing is saving my urine day to day. And this is day 1 of my urine. Unfortunately, you cannot see, but that's 12 ounces of urine, and that's the color of it. So each day, that's my urine for the day. I probably won't. I literally just urinated. I probably won't do any more today. And that is it. Again, I wish I had the video, but it was 12 degrees outside, and my phone literally froze, and it shut off, and it did not save the video. So take my word for it. Don't ice plunge unless you know what you're doing, because I did some nerve damage to my fingertips. And I read online and it says it could take hours. It's been a couple hours since. I sat under the cover for a couple hours. They say it could take days to weeks for the nerve damage to heal itself. So Wim Hof method, proceed with caution. Know what you're doing before you literally jump into it. I'll see y'all tomorrow.